Hey, happy early 4th of July. It's the Garage Condo Guy. We are at our campsite. We just got it. We'll bring the trailer later. We're super excited, as you can see. I wanted to go over some frequently asked questions for the Garage Condos. I brought my book so I wouldn't forget. So question number one that we get asked the most. So do we actually own the land under it, or is it on a land lease? I would say that depends. So you have to just kind of look. If it's a fee simple title, you are going to own the land under it. One of the dead giveaways is the HOA fee. So if there's like a $300 to $500 land lease built in it, then you don't own the land under it. If there's not, if the HOA or the OA, because there's no actual housing and residential, then you probably do own the land. So in that, it kind of depends if there's a 99-year land lease or there's a 30-year land lease. That's completely up to you. But I will tell you, in my experience, from a purchasing standpoint, it's weird to think when you purchase something, kind of how you're going to get out of it. But the marketability of a land lease is a lot less attractive to people, because even if they're paying cash, they got to continuously have that land lease payment. So, and it's not cheap. Like I said, it's $300 to $500 a month. So something to watch out for. Can I live in it or sleep there? The answer is typically no. Unfortunately, Colorado hasn't figured out that zoning. There's other states like Michigan that we've been in, or Idaho, and they've been able to figure it out. So maybe sometime in the future, but not right now. Can I run a business out of the unit? So typically, I would say the answer for garage condos, the spirit of these communities is storage. So if it's business storage, that's okay. So for example, like an electrician, HVAC, they're storing inventory. A mobile business, like a mobile dog grooming, mobile carpet cleaning. These are businesses that, they're able to park their vehicles in there. Maybe they keep some chemicals for carpet cleaning, or they keep some shampoo or conditioner for their mobile dog grooming business. So I would say it just kind of depends. Check with obviously the association rules. They're called the CC&Rs. The R stand for restrictions. Most of these communities, again, the spirit is storage. So you can't have clients coming in and out, and that'll be really evident by a couple things. So number one, you'll have a gate. So that's a clear sign that, right, your clients can't come in and out because there's a code. People who have maybe car collections, storing their toys, things like that, it is more secure for them and they enjoy that more, versus like a business park where, there is no gate. Also tenant signage. So signs above the doors, signs above the garages. If you don't see any signs, that typically means it's probably just a garage condo community with the spirit of storage. So some other HOA questions. What are the monthly dues? It totally depends on the property. So some of the newer properties, they'll be in that maybe 175 to 200 range. Some of the older properties and smaller units will be in the 70 to 100 range. What do they cover? So those OA dues, they cover typically a general liability for the community and outside, the roof, the maintenance on the property, landscaping, the clubhouses, bathroom, showers. Maybe there's internet in the clubhouse, a little conference room. Trash and snow removal are kind of the general expenses that it covers. Typically, they cover water also. It just totally depends on the community, so just double check. When are they due? The frequency, sometimes people pay them yearly. It could be quarterly, monthly. It just all totally depends. And then how are they paid? Again, that kind of totally depends. Sometimes it's a check to a PO box. Sometimes they can set you up on a system where it's kind of automatic out of your bank account. Just check with the property manager, and they'll be able to get that information to you. So now it comes down to the construction. So a lot of people ask, how thick is the concrete? So typically it'd be about 5 to 6 inches, which is enough to install a 2-post lift if you want to work on your vehicle. When it comes to drilling in that concrete, some communities have what's called PT concrete, which stands for post tension. And what it is, it's kind of like aircraft wire, instead of rebar in the concrete. That could be bad, and you can't drill into that type of concrete. So definitely check if you're wanting a 2-post lift, which really, when you're working on cars, if you're taking the tires off, things like that, you're going to have to access it. Things you can't do with a 4-post lift. A 4-post lift is typically for storage. Some of the most popular 4-post lifts I've seen is the bend pack. By far is the most popular lift. So, and those, a lot of times people don't even drill in the concrete, because you have the car on top, the weight's enough to, kind of set it down. And then they're really cool. They kind of have like a wheel system where you can kind of put these wheels under each post and kind of jack it up, and then you can kind of roll the lift around. So it's pretty cool. How tall are the units? So typically they can range anywhere from like 14 feet all the way up to 24. So again, it just totally depends on the community. So you'll want to look into that if that's pretty important for you. The nice thing with the taller ones, like a 24-foot clear, is if you do want to park something under it and then have like a mezzanine on top, there's plenty of clear height. Whereas the 14-foot, that's probably going to be great for just storage of all your toys, RVs, things like that. But there might not be enough room, for a mezzanine. So, just depending on, what your ultimate goals are, that'll depend on what the clear height is that you're looking for. How tall and how wide are the doors? I would say the average door is probably 14 tall and 12 wide. Some of the more narrow doors are 10. The reason why you kind of don't want a 10-foot door is a lot of times your toys, they're probably 9 feet wide, and trailers, it's really, really difficult to back it in there. You have inches on each side. So it's not the best. And obviously, if you have to come into an angle, when you're coming in, they call it the drive aisles. And that's usually the distance between two garages, so kind of that driveway or that aisle. Usually they're about 60 to 65 feet. So it does give you enough room to kind of get straight and back in. But if you can get a 12-foot door, again, that just gives you another foot on each side, which makes it way easier. And then as you get it to the 14, the 16, and then even the oversized doors, I feel like anything over 14 is going to be oversized. That enables you to really get into the unit very, very easily. So if you do have a big rig, a 40-foot RV or a big tow behind RV trailer, it makes it really, really easy to back that in there. And you're not kind of playing Tetris too much with all your stuff. So just something to consider. And last but not least, how wide are the units? Again, depending on what you're storing, but if you're going to store cars, and I would say at least 4, you want them kind of side by side. In my experience, the best is having at least a 20-foot wide unit. The reason why is because you need at least 10 feet, for each car. That way you can kind of open the doors, get in there pretty easily. When it's, less than 20 feet, like 16 or 18, it just gets super, super tight again. And then getting multiple cars in the door, sometimes it just kind of doesn't work the best. So I hope that was helpful. If there are any questions that you want answered, we are very, very knowledgeable. We are Colorado's specialists when it comes to garage condos. Looking forward to connecting with you. And until then, enjoy the 4th of July. Happy 250, America.